So in this video, I'm going to talk about what it means to be off track within the Summit platform and what students can do to uh, avoid getting off track, get back on track, or thrive using the Summit system. So the first thing I want to talk about is that right from your year page, you can see if you're off track in a given subject by looking at the cognitive skill average. So if you see that is red, that means that that is one of the reasons why you're off track. And that's because your overall cognitive skills need to be above 70%. You're also going to be off track if you have a power focus area that is below the line of the present line. So if the power focus area gets passed by that present line, that is also going to turn red, and the system is going to say that you are off track. So for example, this scale drawings right here will cause that students to be off track as well. You can also be off track for a project that has already passed and is red. So that is usually an indication that a project has not been turned in at all, that's overdue. The student did not submit the project. If the student did poorly on the project and it's already graded, it will usually be yellow. So yellow on the year page for a project that's already due, it's usually a bad sign. Yellow for a project that's on performance right now, it's being done, that's just a sign that it could turn out bad, but not necessarily a sign that it is bad. A project that is already yellow in the past, that means you're going to have skills below the grade level on that one. A project that is red and the line is over, that's just going to mean that you're really on track to not do well on that project, but it's not permanent. Either if the line is over it, you can still do something about it. But red that's overdue, that usually means that you are going to be off track because the project has not been turned in. And something like this, yellow, that causes you to be below grade level, it could lower your average overall enough that will also cause it to be off track. And lastly, if all of these things combine make your grade be too low, that's also going to be making you be off track overall. So here you see some examples of that. This student right here is off track, both because the grade is too low and because the project cognitive skills are too low. Now, usually that's going to come in together because projects are worth so much of your overall grade that if you are behind on projects, it's likely that you're going to be behind. Your grade overall is going to be low as well. So if you are low cog skills, usually that means low class grade, since the cog skills and projects are such important part of your overall grade. That's not always true, but it's usually the case. This student, for example, could actually have a passing grade in the class if they had the additionals done, because 6% more would put him at a 70% overall. So see, it is possible that's to be the case. Now, let's review the 4 reasons why you could be off track, right? So you could be off track because your overall grade is below 70%, or because your cog skill average is below 70%. You could also be off track because you have a project that is overdue, a project that you have not turned in, you have not done at all. And by the way, if you have severely low grades, like that is really, really low, sometimes that will turn it red too. Usually the project is only red if it's overdue, but if the grade is really, really low, it can also turn red, like this one had. 0.5 is a very, very low grade for a 7th grader, so that's why it's like that. But if the project hasn't been done at all, like we saw on the year page, that also causes it to be red. And lastly, if the power focus area is overdue, that's also going to cause you to be off track. So you see that in the math, I think. This student has a power focus area that they haven't finished. So it's 1 red and that also causes the student to be off track on that power focus area. So even if the math unit grade was good, if they were off by a power focus area, that this would be green, but they would still say this would be green, but the overall grade would still stay off track, even if it had a good passing grade. You could even have a B and be off track because of 1 power focus area that you're behind. I've even seen a student have an A and be off track because of that 1 power focus area that they're behind. Now, in this video, we've already talked about the different things that can happen for you to be off track. On the next video, I'm going to be talking about the most important things you can do to avoid doing that, or to stay on track, or to really thrive in the Summit platform. And that includes, first of all, making sure your project grades is as best as possible, because that is the best thing you can do. And we'll talk about that in the next video.